Hi there, Don McVey here with Paper Tray Ink. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about something I am calling camouflaged pocket inserts. The idea being that you can create a pocket for your card front as well as an insert to tuck inside the pocket. And the camouflage comes into play when the embellishments that you would normally perhaps put on the pocket, they are instead attached to the pocket insert. So when the recipient pulls out the pocket insert, the embellishments come with it and your recipient receives a fun little surprise. So let's get right to it. So like in the case of this card, this is a really easy one because it's just one big die cut that I used to achieve this technique, but you slide the whole pocket insert out and the embellishment comes with it rather than staying stuck on the pocket. You could obviously just adhere everything to the pocket and then your embellishment would come out and this would all stay intact. But that's kind of the fun of this little technique, is it's a little bit of a surprise when your recipient pulls the pocket insert out and the embellishment comes with it. So we are going to look at a couple of different ways to achieve this, but this, like I said, this one is really the easiest way because it's just one big die cut, and all we did is adhere the, I used foam adhesive up at the top here, and then the bottom is left so that it is loose, so it can slide over the pocket. Now, I will say, if you want this to still stay popped up and not lay flat, just like the rest of it is, you can do what I did here, and that is I went ahead and put some foam adhesive dots on the back, but I left the paper backing on them so they're not stuck to anything. So that way you still get the benefit of the dimension without it having to be stuck in place. So you can do this technique for really any kind of card, masculine, feminine, for a kid or an adult, whatever. And you can use any die cut to create this look. But instead of doing one big die cut, I'm going to create a similar look using multiple smaller die cuts. Simply by, again, the way that you adhere everything to the card, you can totally make it work. So for this card, I've kind of got everything laid out, sort of how it's going to look when I put it together. And this is a really good practice for you to get into when you're trying to figure out how things like this are going to go together. Just lay it all out, lay your pieces out so you can see where your sentiment is going to need to be placed and where your leaves are going to need to go. And it helps to get a feel for how it's all going to work together when you see how everything is going to be arranged. So to get things started, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a leaf on directly on the pocket here. I'm going to do that with some ripe avocado ink. About like so. And then, actually, while I've got this stamp out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp two more leaves, this time die cut leaves. And one more while I've got the ink out. This was going to be a cluster of 3 leaves, also on a die cut. Okay, I should mention these are all from the Meadow Greens stamp set. I really love pairing flowers and leaves from different sets, so I'm going to use some flowers from Vintage Linens. I watercolored these flowers a while back, a whole bunch of them all at once, and I've been having so much fun using them here and there on different projects. So I'm going to pair the flowers from Vintage Linens with leaves from Meadow Greens. So the last thing I want to do is get my placement of this sentiment. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and use the same ink. I'm going to make sure that's very straight. So I'm going to use the same ink for the sentiment as I did for the leaves. But the thing I'm going to go ahead and do so that I make sure everything is placed just right, in order to do this pocket, I've used, this is a die from the book cover card die collection, and I've gone ahead and cut some really thin strips of foam adhesive just off of a roll, and I'm going to line 3 of the 4 sides of this pocket. You can create these pockets out of any kind of die cut you have in your stash. You just want to put adhesive on 3 of the 4 sides and leave the 4th side open, and that will create your pocket. I'm going to put one more piece right in the center since this die cut is pointed. I want it to be sure and stop at the bottom. So when it goes on the card, you can see that the die cut will just slide right into place like so. So like I said, you can create these pockets out of just about any die cut. Just adhere 3 sides, and you don't even have to use foam adhesive. If you'd rather use regular adhesive so that it's a snugger fit on the card front, you can totally do that too. You can also have your pocket be top loading, or you can turn it sideways and have your insert slide in and out from the side. You have lots of options for how you can do this, and like I said, you can use just about any die cut or even just a square piece of cardstock to create your pocket. So for the insert, I'm using a basic bookmark number 3 die. I love how perfectly these bookmark dies fit inside this book cover card die. This is the same thing here. I used a basic bookmark number 2 die to create that pocket insert. It's a really great fit, and I like it. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment here, and I'm going to need it to go just about there. So that when it's slid back into the pocket, it's covered up. But I want to adhere the pocket to the vellum first, and then that way I can adhere the vellum to the card front by just putting adhesive behind the pocket so you can't see the adhesive on the front of the card. Sometimes you have to think a little bit backwards, kind of in reverse order when you're putting these together to make sure that your adhesive is hidden and your sentiment lands where it's supposed to when everything is put together. But the end result is really fun, isn't it? So we'll just pop that pocket right into place. The pocket insert will slide in like so, and then I'm going to put my adhesive just on the bottom portion of the vellum so that even when I slide the pocket insert out of the pocket, the adhesive won't show. If I put adhesive up here, it might show, and I don't want it to, so we'll just leave it as is. Slide the pocket into place, and then I'm going to use some foam adhesive for these guys. So we'll put a couple on each. Actually, I don't want one on this one, because when this goes on like so, it's going to be like this. I want this to be stuck to the other flower. But it doesn't need to be on foam adhesive, because the leaf that it's going to lay on top of has foam adhesive on it, and I don't want it to stick to the pocket. I'm going to just put regular adhesive on one of these and some foam adhesive on the other. And let's see if we can get this positioned just right. I want the flowers to be about like that. The leaves, you'll notice, though, I am sticking these directly to the pocket. Again, that's part of the fun of the camouflage. Those leaves will stay with the pocket when the rest of it comes up with the pocket insert. And then up at the top here, I've got 2 more leaves. The thing with leaf placement, it's kind of a funny thing, but you'd think you want it to be perfectly balanced to get a balanced look. So that would be like 2 leaves here, 2 leaves here. But really, you want it to be heavier. You want the leaves to be heavier in one place than another. So in this case, I've got what is in effect 4 leaves down here and just 2 up at the top. So you get a little bit more balanced look. And we are finished. So when you pull the insert out, the flowers and some leaves come with, and the other ones stay on the pocket. So there you have it. Camouflage pocket inserts.
Well, that's it for me today, but I cannot wait to see your take on camouflaged pocket inserts. If you'd like to play along with this week's challenge, be sure to head over to Nicole Hetty's blog, where you can find all the information for how to submit your own project for the challenge this week. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Dawn McVey with Make It Monday.